All right, this is a video to complete up the 1A notes from class. So we're looking at this first part right here. It says to convert a percent to a fraction, which is out of 100. We're going to write the digit over 100 and drop the percent symbol and reduce the fraction to lowest terms. So when you see 47%, you're going to write that as 47 over 100. And then you're going to ask, does that simplify? Well, 47 doesn't have any numbers that divide into it other than 47 and 1. So that will not reduce with any of the factors of 100. Now, for the next one, we'd have 36 over 100. And when we reduce that one, because that is reducible, I would reduce that by dividing both parts by 4, I believe goes into both of them. Again, we'll triple check to make sure that that's completely reduced. So that's going to be 9 over 25. And there is not anything that goes into both 9 and 25. Now, to convert a decimal to a fraction, this one out of all of them, this is probably the one that people might struggle with the most. You're going to write the digits that are significant. So if there's like a 0, 0, then a number, we wouldn't write all the zeros that were in front of that number unless there is, like, say this was a 102. Then we would write 102. But they're saying if there are zeros that are before you even get to a number, we would not write those when we make them into fraction form. But we'll write it over the last place value in our decimal. So notice this first one ends in the 100th. So that's going to be 14 over 100 or 14 hundredths. And then we would reduce this down. So I believe we can divide both of these by 2. So that's going to be 7 over 50. For the next one, it ends in the third decimal spot. That's tenths, hundredths, thousandths. So we're going to put this as 124 over 1,000. And then we're going to try and reduce that. Now, it might be divisible by something other than 4, but let's see. I do believe it is divisible by 4. So let me get my calculator shared so we can see and double check this. So 124 divided by 4 is 31. And 1,000 divided by 4 is 250. And the only numbers that go into 31 are 1 and 31. So that does not reduce with 250. And then for my last one, we're going to be putting 2. It's again in the thousandths place. So we're going to put 2 over 1,000. And if we reduce that, that would be 1 out of 500, dividing it both top and bottom by a 2. Okay. Now we want to look at the 1A2 notes so that we're in the same place as my Monday, Wednesday class was. So we have 1A2 is ratios, write as fractions, and use in applications. So the comparison of relative size of two quantities, they can be written in a variety of ways. So 4:5, 4:5, and 4/5. Those are all different ways to write a ratio. This is actually the same as those as well. When we do 4 divided by 5 on our calculator, we get 0.8. So when you divide the actual fraction, that's actually the decimal per 1. So it's 0.8 per 1 or 0.8 to 1. That's going to be a special case. We call that a unit ratio. Okay. So a survey of 4,200 dentists about their preferred toothpaste found that 3,600 of them preferred Crest. Write the ratio of dentists that prefer Crest to all dentists surveyed. So as a fraction in simplified form, be careful here. Make sure you do the ratio that you're looking at is dentists that prefer Crest to all dentists. So that means this is the numerator because it's coming before the word to, and this is the denominator. Okay, so we're going to have 3,600 preferred Crest over all the dentists they talk to, which is 4,200. When you have zeros that end like this, you can divide by 10 or 100, whatever, however many zeros you have to get that to reduce down, but it really just goes down to 36 over 42. And we can reduce that again. Those are both divisible by 6, I believe. So let's check. 36 divided by 6 is 6. 42 divided by 6 is 7. So that's the reduced form of that ratio. Now we want to do a decimal rounded to the nearest hundredths. So that means we want to actually divide. So 6 divided by 7. We're going to write that out here to a few decimal places. 857,142, ... We're rounding this to the nearest hundredths place. So that's the second decimal place right there. We look at the digit right behind it. The 7 will bump up that to a 6. And then as a percentage, well, to make a decimal a percent, we can either multiply by 100 and add the percent symbol or move the decimal 2 places to the right. So that's going to be 86%. Okay, and then find the patient's ratio of total cholesterol to HDL cholesterol. So we're doing total cholesterol to HDL if we have the following information. So 232 is the total. HDL is 68, and it says write it as a simplified fraction. So we were just questioning if this is reducible. So let's see, is 232 divisible by maybe 4? Yes, it is. And I know 68 is, but you would want to check that on your calculator. So that's going to be 58, and then 68 divided by 4 is 17. The only thing you would want to check here is to make sure that 58 is not divisible by 17. It's not, it does not go evenly. So this is my simplified fraction. Okay, that gets us caught up with what we should have gotten done on first day, and we'll be picking up with 1A3 in class.